Welcome back. This is Vikrant from Polytech, student of vibrations, acoustics, all that good stuff. This should make a lot of you nostalgic because we're going to talk about the OFV series, which has been around for a long time, and it was replaced with VibraFlex, and we are talking single point vibrometers. So, wanted to go through some of the big changes that happened between generations. So, with that little background, let's get to it. This should definitely make some of you nostalgic because we got all kinds of black and blue boxes that used to be around since early 90s, which was the 3000 and the 3001 series. So the single point vibrometers have a controller and a sensor. So these are all the different controllers. There are some of these were task specific, whether it's the high frequency version or the dual channel or high speed versions, the 5000S. But we had quite a few different controllers for specific tasks. So, this is, some of these go back and still being used in the industry to early 90s, which were these black boxes that many of you are familiar with. And then these were paired with a bunch of sensors. One of the commonalities between different generations of these sensors back in the day was everything was based on helium neon laser source, so the red laser beam. And again, 302, 303s, 501s, 502s, for instance, fiber systems, and you can see three different generations on this picture. And then, the one with the built-in camera, which was the OFV 534 and the high speed. So even with the fiber, we used to have two different versions, one for the single fiber and one for the dual or the differential fiber. So we had a lot of different sensors and paired with a lot of different controllers. So that was then. Where do we stand now? So this is the VibraFlex series. So as you can see, I mean, it's a lot more, minimalistic approach, but still an elegant one, so with a few sensors only, but still kind of encompassing all that we used to be able to do. One of the big differences is, of course, now we have, of course, the helium neon sources based vibrometers, but also Q-Tech, which is the next sort of generation or incarnation of vibrometry. So this is the dropout-free version of the vibrometers, and sort of absolute game changer based on the feedback we are receiving. So you can see that there are some changes, some differences, and there are many more than what I'll be able to list here. But these are some of the ones that kind of stand out to me. As I mentioned, one of the first ones is definitely different laser sources for different applications. Simplicity. We now have fewer sensors, but still doing what we used to be able to do in the last 25 years and more. So that definitely stands out. Flexibility, because there's just one connect or controller hooking up to a bunch of different sensors, catering to pretty much all the applications that we see here, whether it's low frequency, high frequency, low velocities, displacements, high, everything in between, right? So that kind of stands out as well. Recently had someone call that, hey, I'm seeing these peaks that I had never seen before. I'm seeing some dynamic behavior that I didn't know existed. And one of the reasons is, improved sensitivity, optical sensitivity, but also just overall an order of magnitude lower noise floor. So if you ever had issues with signal to noise ratio, definitely something to consider with the VibraFlex series. Especially when it comes to when we talk about the 534 replacement, which is the VibraFlex Compact. It has a much better camera, and also it has a laser filter built in that is adjustable. So that gives you much crisper, nicer, cleaner video images. Very important, especially for MEMS type applications. The data transfer or data acquisition used to be through the BNC analog voltage out. You still have that with the VibraFlex, so nothing lost. You can still use your DACs. But now there's also a pure digital data transfer and remote control. This is a big deal because now you get even lower noise floor, and we use something called VibroLink, which is our sort of data transfer protocol. So definitely a big plus. A lot of you were asking for acceleration output direct. So now we have a nice dedicated BNC that you can export, you sort of transfer data, acquire data in acceleration simultaneously with velocity displacement as well. And finally, accessories galore. There are applications that require special accessories for certain reasons or constraints. And now there are a lot more than what I'm showing here. I just wanted to kind of show you a glimpse of what you can expect. For example, getting into tighter spaces, there's a fiber attachment to the standard vibrometer, and lenses and fixtures and micro positioning stages and all kinds of things. So these are some of the big ones that kind of stood out using a vibrometer personally as a student and now as a Polytech employee. So hopefully some of these resonate with you, and if you're not sure, give us a call, give it a try. Let's talk about your specific application and see if it makes sense to consider switch to VibraFlex. Thank you so much for your time. Until next time, bye bye.